What's baby girl up to? We're gonna say hi to our friends. Hmm? Uh-oh. 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 Ooh, she's getting mad. What are you getting mad? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I better put her on the floor. She's getting into one of her moods. All right, there you go. Go play. Don't attack me. She's nuts. Okay, go away. Go away. She didn't want to be on camera. Okay, okay, all right. I don't know. Go play. Yeah, nice. I like to have my sidekick on camera sometimes, but not when she's being bad. She's got a neurological disorder. Just to explain to some of you who don't know, no one's here yet. Oh, hi, Katiana. Um, Sometimes she's just like a Jekyll and Hyde. She'll be sweet. I'll be hugging her, kissing her. Suddenly she's angry. Usually it's around the time she's near food, but sometimes it's not. Usually it's sparked off, triggered by some sort of food aggression. I don't want to go off on a tangent about my dog. It's not what this is about. But okay. She did just eat, but half hour ago. So maybe she's still remembering her food. I don't know. But sometimes she's just mean. I don't know. Anyway, I'm safely up on the couch. Luckily, since she's disabled, she can't jump up here and get me. And by the time I need to get off the couch, hopefully she'll calm down. All right. So I'll start out. We're going to play a video that I just discovered. As I mentioned yesterday. Good morning, Desmond. Good morning, Katiana. As I mentioned yesterday, they're not live streaming the Kaitlin Armstrong trial. They are keeping it, behind closed doors. So all I can do is follow up each day with new information that I gather Googling on the internet, which you all can do too. But I just I'm going to talk about the things that I find relevant. And apparently there's somewhere you can get actually more detailed information about the trial. I don't know where the person is getting it. There's a lady on YouTube that even has the list of witnesses and basically what they talked about. So I don't know where she's getting that information. I'll try to be more specific. But so I probably won't be giving the best coverage of the trial, but I'm giving coverage of things that I observe, that I have questions about. So two things. Yesterday, two of the questions that came up on my video regarding the trial that I knew to that point was, number one, what's the relevance of her bicycle? The victim's bicycle was brought up. I don't see the relevance of that because the actual murder occurred, that theoretically Kaitlin Armstrong, innocent until proven guilty, but most likely she is the murderer. But anyway, whoever the murderer was, entered the house, committed the crime, and left. I did not understand what the relevance of the bicycle was, but we're going to be watching a video about, apparently they reassembled the bicycle in court. So I'm going to watch that video and we'll be learning the answer to that question at the same time. Number one. Number two, yesterday I had developed a theory as to how the murder occurred based on the fact that I thought, and then later realized that there was an article that explained that the victim was found on her back. I was questioning, was she found on her front or on her back in the bathroom? It turns out in the trial, the victim did, in quotes, say, I came home, I found her on her back in the bathroom, something to that effect. So the victim was actually found on her back. So that question is answered, which leads me to my new theory as to how the murder occurred. So I think what I'll do first is play the video about the bicycle. We'll watch that together. And then afterwards, I'll come on and reimagine the scene based on what information I now have. As I get new information, my theories are changing. And from lack of knowing more detailed information, which apparently is available somewhere, and I'll have to find out where that information is coming from. There is a YouTuber. I'm not gonna give her free advertising because I want you guys to watch my channel. But there's plenty of coverage out there on the Kaitlin Armstrong trial that you all can easily find, and channels that are much more popular than mine. As it turns out, I can't monetize this channel. I thought I was eligible, but I'm not, because I have to have a certain number of. And what I didn't want to monetize this channel, just not to go off on another tangent. I'll try to stick to it, but because the way I can get the commercials, because these commercials are playing on this channel, Ramble Scramble on YouTube. I know I've got some Twitchers over there watching as well. The only way I can think of to turn off the commercials is to monetize and then take control of the commercials. And then I myself can manually unmonetize the videos. But my hope is actually to monetize these videos about this trial. You know, so I'd like the channel to be non-monetized generally, especially for those ramble videos that have nothing to do with anything. But when I focus on a particular topic, I guess I wouldn't mind monetizing. So, but I need to get a certain amount of hours of viewership. One thing is to have 1,000 followers, which I do. I've already passed 1,000 followers. But the second part of it, I think, is to have a certain number of hours of viewership of my videos. So anyway, enough. We're going to watch the video. Wait a minute, what camera am I using? Oh, I'm using the other camera. This camera is really crappy. I switched. I'm using right now the computer camera. I have this other camera attached, but apparently I forgot to turn it on. Or is it not plugged in? Oh, it's not plugged in. No wonder it's not working. I was like, why am I? All right, well, doesn't matter. You don't need to see me. It's more important you see what I'm showing on my screen. Okay, so here we go. We're going to watch the video. I think I'll take myself I'll stay on. Why not? Okay. Tell me if there's any sound problems while the video's on. Okay, thanks. Share the screen. Okay. What do I do? Oh, I switch over there and I play the video. Let me see if I can mute this mic in the meantime. I think I'll mute my mic. It's a phone. It's a phone. Can I mute mic? Okay, I'll mute my mic.
Correspondent Alex Capriello was in the courtroom, even had a chance to speak with Kaitlin Armstrong's family today. This was a really busy day for you. So take me to that moment, because I am telling you, Alex, whenever there is show and tell of a dramatic thing that's at the center of a murder case, usually jurors' eyes pop wide open, and so do the defendants. So tell me about that moment.
Yeah, up to this point, it was all digital. Everything that we were seeing evidence was either a video or a picture. But then all of a sudden I'm looking at the prosecutors and I'm seeing them very quietly put on those blue surgical gloves, and my eyes popped because I knew something was about to come out behind a hidden door. Sure enough, Mo Wilson's really expensive, beautiful training bike that she uses, carried in an evidence bag, was lifted and brought to center stage right there in front of the entire jury to see. And we had about a good hour to 2 hours with that bike really as the focal point of that witness testimony. All of the jury members craning their necks to get a good look at it. That also includes Kaitlin Armstrong. She was focused in on it. And it really went from the DNA analyst showing where on the handlebars and on the bike seat that they were actually extracting both fingerprints and DNA, to even actually assembling the bike in the position that it closely resembled the pictures that we've seen from that crime scene evidence. So that way the jury could actually see how it was laid down in that bamboo forest.
That would have been hard, I would think, for her family to see that bike, knowing that this was her passion and her love. And, there it was in the middle of that courtroom. The big other story that will not leave Kaitlin Armstrong ever is the fact that she has, been on two sort of manhunts, escapes. Like she absconded to Costa Rica, and then just a couple weeks ago tried to flee her guards when she went for a doctor's appointment. So yesterday the big headline was like 4 to 5 big burly guards surrounding her. Same thing today, different? Like are they letting their guard down with her?
I would say there's 3 guards surrounding her at all times. I'm not sure it was the same 4 or 5 that brought her in the first time we saw her, but nevertheless, yeah, very heavily secured all around her. Still to this day, no handcuffs, no leg restraints or anything like that. She walks in on her own. They're not carrying her in there, but certainly sheriff's deputies are surrounding her. Again, she was in her professional attire, a different pantsuit, a different blouse, but yeah, no restraints.
And if our viewers are wondering, we're watching the video where she came in for her first day of trial because the judge in this case got a little bit persnickety about cameras, and he allowed just this day to be seen on camera, and then the cameras go dark until verdict, and I think closings as well. So that's a bit of a bummer, but
Yeah.
you're there, so you're our eyes. You also had a chance to talk with Kaitlin Armstrong's parents. I'm shocked that they spoke with anybody. Typically it's very hard to get the defendant's family to talk during trial, but they spoke with you. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, and we have to be really delicate about it because no one here wants to be here, right? If it's from the defendant's family or the victim's family, it's really tough on everyone. And so our News Nation team approached them during a brief recess because we wanted to see how they were doing. We wanted to ask what's going on through their heads. They tell us that they flew in from Michigan. They came there to support their daughter. The parents are divorced at this time, but really it's hard on them. They say they're doing as well as they possibly can be, but beyond that, they're really just not interested in talking to anyone, including myself, probably from this day on. They just want to keep to themselves. They are going to stay here for as long as the trial lasts, but beyond that, I'm not sure I'm going to have another chance to speak to them.
There's also this like incredible dynamic that plays out in courtrooms. And if you're watching, if you've never gone to a trial, viewer, please just do yourself a favor. Do what Alex is doing. Sit in a courtroom and watch this. Alex, I'm always amazed by the bifurcation right down the center of the courtroom, usually behind the prosecutors, like the family members of the victim. Will sit, and then behind the defense, the family members of the defendant will sit. And sometimes it's just like you could cut the tension with a knife between the families. I'm curious about the dynamics between Mo Wilson's family members and Kaitlin Armstrong's family members. What's it like in there?
Actually, I'll tell you, there's an army of people that are supporting Mo Wilson and her family. Beyond just her brother, Matthew, who was the first witness we heard from yesterday, and the mother and the father, there's also the key witness, Kaitlin Cash, the woman who actually called 911 and discovered her body. And then just this massive group of friends and cyclists and fellow professionals. One guy I spoke to today flew all the way from Vermont, and he was right there holding Kaitlin Cash's shoulders during some of the worst moments of witness testimony and video that we watched today. So yes, there's the prosecutor's table, there's the family right behind him. Then there's got to be at least 2 packed rows of friends who are supporting the Wilsons. Then finally comes me and my team and several others. On the defense's side, I would say it's really what I've seen is just Kaitlin Armstrong's mother and father. I believe, although I'm not confirmed, I saw Caitlin's sister yesterday. We did not see her again today. And then it's just news media behind them. So not nearly the same support for Kaitlin Armstrong's team as we're seeing for Mo Wilson and her family.
Okay, so that's that. I guess you guys heard. You were able to hear. I saw it on my phone and it sounded like the sound was okay. Baby girl, you gonna be mean to me? You want to come see my friends? She might be nice again. Baby girl, come here, baby girl. You want to go with mommy? No, she's being a little kooky. All right. Sometimes I can't even get off the couch. She's a recidivist herself. I have to put her in timeout all the time. All right. So that's that. They reassembled the bike. I still don't see the relevance unless maybe Mo Wilson. I'm going to look that up in a minute as well. Maybe not Mo Wilson. Kaitlin Armstrong, perhaps after theoretically she committed the murder. I'm still going to say alleged, even though I believe she's guilty. But until she's proven guilty, until the jury says so, we have to remember in America, it's innocent until proven guilty. So I'm always going to say the alleged murderer. We've got to stick with, while in this case, most likely she is guilty, we have to remember many times there are innocent people that are put on trial, and we have to remember them always. So everyone is alleged until proven. All right. Beyond that, because I'm very American these days. Tangents. The theory I had yesterday, if some of you watched, I was trying to envision the trial, the scene of the murder. And at the time, even though I had read it in an article, I had forgotten about that the roommate came home, or not the roommate, the friend who Mo Wilson, the victim, was visiting, came home and saw her lying on the bathroom floor with her back. She was on her back when she was found. And then later the roommate was doing CPR as well. But that didn't matter, because theoretically, if she would have been found on her stomach, okay, you assume to perform CPR, she would have flipped her over. But it turns out she was found on her back. So I'm going to adjust how I envisioned. So Mo Wilson was shot 3 times. And again, because of nearby surveillance equipment, other ring cameras, apparently the crime was heard. It was not seen. There were no eyewitnesses, but it was heard on the surveillance equipment of nearby cameras, or I'm not sure what equipment was around. I'm assuming other ring cameras, because ring cameras also video. They're video and they're also audio. What was heard and what the neighbor also corroborated, she did hear what was happening upstairs. There were screams, 2 gunshots, about 45 seconds of silence, and a 3rd gunshot is all that was heard. So I was envisioning it, and the victim was shot in the forehead, the temple, and the heart. She was shot 3 times. The 3rd shot was the shot to the heart. So again, I'm going to envision, the first part of what I envisioned yesterday was that, okay, the murderer, the would-be murderer, arrived, got in somehow. Mo Wilson saw the gun, perhaps saw if it was Kaitlin Armstrong, who she would have recognized, because they had previously words or something. I do recall reading that somewhere. I might have to find that to reconfirm it. But Kaitlin Armstrong, when she got back together with her boyfriend, Colin Strickland, after they'd been on a break and had dated other people, apparently there was a confrontation of some sort where Kaitlin Armstrong said to Mo Wilson, stay away from him. Fine, he was on a break. You had your thing. We're back together, so stay away from him. Basically, I'm sure that it wasn't exactly as I'm saying, but so Mo Wilson would have recognized the woman, would have known why she was there, perhaps, or at least recognized that there was not any love lost between them. And the gun. So imagine, in that moment, she's screaming, knowing perhaps. Now I'm filling in a lot of blanks on my own. I'm not. Remember, it's all me with my own opinions. Whatever the case, she saw the gun, started screaming, and that's when the murderer shot the first shot, which hit her in the forehead. And at that point, likely she stopped screaming right there. Not that she was prevented from screaming, but when you go into fight or flight mode, all your energy goes into getting away. You're not going to waste time screaming at that point. I'm, again, thinking. Because immediately the first shot was heard, the scream stopped, or the first 2 shots were heard, one consecutively, rapidly after the other. There was no screaming anymore. So for whatever reason, I said, oh, maybe she was now disabled, so she couldn't scream. But if she could run, perhaps she still could scream. We don't know why the screaming stopped, but she wasn't dead yet. She wasn't dead until she got to the bathroom. So again, I'll start over. First shot, boom, hits her in the forehead. At that point, she says, okay, I got to get out of here. Fight or flight mode. She turns to run, and that's when the 2 shots were one after the other. So boom, she turns to run. Boom, it hits her in the temple. She runs to the bathroom, and here's where I'm going to change my theory. She was maybe closing the bathroom door. Turning around to try to close the bathroom door, which is why she got hit straight on in the front into the heart and fell backwards. At first, I was thinking, oh, she got shot in the back through the heart and fell face forward. But no, since she was found face down, still, my theory kind of still how I envision what must have happened. But likely at that point, she was turning to close the door, the bathroom door. Now, again, who knows if the bathroom door is a sliding door or a We don't know if it's a kind of door that goes like this or if it's a sliding door. We don't know what kind of door it was. But whatever kind of door it was, she would have had to turn around to close the door. So probably when she turned around, she never got a chance to close the door. And that's when she got the third shot in the heart. 45 seconds after. 45 seconds is a long time. Who knows if there were words there? Because it would seem, 1, 2, run to the bathroom, let's say takes 10 seconds, depending on how disabled she was at that point. Maybe she was stumbling. I don't know. 45 seconds is a long time. So what happened in those 45 seconds? Some arguing, there was no more words heard, though, at least from the surveillance equipment. So what was maybe the theoretically Kaitlin Armstrong, who we assume is the murderer, was she reconsidering? Why would it take so long? Because if it was in a moment of anger and passion, it would have been 3 shots, boom, boom, or continued shots, or maybe the gun jammed. Or I still think 45 seconds is a long time where she might have reconsidered the murderer. That's enough time to realize, oh my gosh, she's hurt. What have I done? Which only makes me less sympathetic to whoever killed her, likely. And I'll stop saying it. I'm just going to say allegedly, or because it takes too long to keep explaining. But remember, it's always alleged. But it only makes me less sympathetic because 45 seconds, that's almost a minute. That's enough time to wake up and realize, oh my gosh, assuming it was in a moment of passion, it only makes me realize more that it was premeditated. It makes it less, I'm trying to find a way to sympathize. I'm trying to be the devil's advocate, and I'm trying to find a way to sympathize with Kaitlin Armstrong, the alleged murderer. But I can't find any inroads. And if it would have been immediate, boom, 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 she's dead, or shot her, and then, oh my gosh, what have I done? And escaped maybe in fear, but didn't fire that third shot through the heart. That was hatred. That was premeditated. You don't need much time to premeditate. A minute is enough, plus she had been stalking the woman to figure out when she was home. But even up until there, you could argue, well, she really just went to threaten her, to scare her. She had no intention of murdering her. And things escalated quickly. And then she, in a moment of passion, shot the first 2 shots. Okay, even up until the first 2 shots, one could still try to argue that it was in anger and passion. She really just wanted to scare her, and it got out of hand, and she ended up shooting her. But there's no way to justify that third shot. The one that I believe killed her, because she would have already been messed up getting shot through the temple, but she still wasn't dead. But so, again, I don't know how she's going to get out of it. The defense lawyer is doing what he can. He's going to try to discredit the witnesses. He's going to claim that there were no eyewitnesses, but the circumstantial evidence is overwhelming. And, reasonable doubt is reasonable, but please, her car was there. I believe they even know that it is her car. She escaped to Costa Rica. She had a nose job. She tried to escape again. She's pleading not guilty as a last-ditch attempt because she's screwed anyway. I'm thinking she figured, well, look, there's no way to justify what I did. Let's just, say I'm not guilty. It's, she really can't get much worse. She's going to get life in prison, or let's say if she pled guilty and did a plea deal, 50 years. She's 35, 50, 60, 70, 80. She'd be 80, or she was 35 when it happened. She's now 37. Let's say she'd be out when she was 85. She's as good as dead, okay? And she's probably no danger to anyone at 85, So I figure she's just like, whatever. At this point, I've got nothing to lose. I'm just going to say not guilty and let the chips fall, which I guess if I would have done that, I guess maybe I'd do the same. I don't know. Or maybe I'd just say, well, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I'm not ever planning to be in that position. Much as I have anger against a couple of people that have hurt me in life, and I probably shouldn't because I'm only harming myself, but sometimes I do wish, something would happen to that person, Not anymore, but at a time when I was very hurt by someone. But TMI right now. But anyway, not going to do it, especially seeing what happens to others who act on those passionate feelings. They end up in jail for the rest of their life. So I don't want to go to jail for the rest of my life. If not for the fact that it's wrong to murder, I don't want to go to jail for the rest of my life, for someone who hurt me. They're not worth it, Karma will get them. Always rely on karma or whatever you believe in. Something will get them, and it'll even out in the end. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Oh, well, move on. Life isn't fair. If you have to even do that. I know it's not fair, but okay. And anyway, because I do sympathize. I'm sorry. I do sympathize to some extent, although I don't sympathize with her hurting the woman. I feel that the harm was done by the man, in her, she went after the wrong person is the only thing that I don't sympathize with. And some poor girl that, hey, cute guy, he was on a break. I dated him a little bit. It didn't work out. And yeah, she probably shouldn't have met up with him for lunch, but whatever. She didn't do anything wrong. I mean, if she still liked the guy, let's assume she still liked him. She had a nice time with him. She kind of, maybe she wished the guy would change his mind and come back with her. Whatever. But she's innocent. All's fair in love and war, they say. If you love someone or you have feelings for someone, and maybe he'll leave the other person for you that you did date a while, I don't know. I can't sympathize with I can sympathize with her anger and her hurt, but I can't sympathize. I mean, I'm trying to find, you want to, someone's got to defend her. That's why there's a right to a defense in America. But she's going to jail the rest of her life. And I don't think many people are going to be hurting because of it. But an old lady, not bad. I could use a little makeup, but would you still be interested in making a video of what it was like growing up as a first generation Argentinian? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, but actually, I'll close this video because this is supposed to be about the trial, and I'll start a new one and we can discuss it. I mean, I guess I could do it right there. I could do the video there, but I don't really know what else to say about it. I think I did touch upon it. Maybe I'll do an official video of it. Why don't we do that? Okay. So, all right, I'm going to end this video because I don't want to go on tangents. I got to stick to the one topic. It's getting warm in here. Woo. I'm going to come right back on, Katiana, as long as you brought it up. And I'll try to do one, but I've said a few things about it, which I guess I could repeat, and then I won't really know what else to say. But yeah, I will do that because it's obviously into some people. So let's do that. Okay, back on a separate video. See you. Thanks for watching the update. And I might come back on tonight if I get more information about what happened today in the trial, if the trial's even going on today. Sometimes on Fridays they take off. I'm not sure what's happening. Bye, everyone. See you in a minute.